It's been a long time, but we're back on the road. Girlfriend's gone on holiday. I got a turkey. Which means I'm free. So it's I've just finished a work shift selling cars. Just agreed to buy a car 5 hours up the country, and then he just cancelled on me and said, "Oh, I found someone who's going to give me the full price." I'm like, "Alright, crack on." In the meantime, I sent a load of messages out, and I found a guy who's got a BMW 540, which is actually what I wanted, not the one right at the top. It won't start. Obviously, you know, you wouldn't expect me to have a normal car that works, would you? So I've got the body kit, and I've got the stereo, and I've got the alloy wheels, and it's a 540, which is what I wanted. So it's 2.5 hours drive over to some weird and wonderful place. So we're hitting the road, and we'll let you know when we get there. Hopefully this one's better than the last one, but that was rusty and smoke pouring out the back. Obviously I don't know if there's smoke pouring out the back of this one because it doesn't start. 200,000 miles. I've got a HPI check it, but let's go and have a look. It's 10 to 8. I haven't even got on the M25 yet. It's been pissing with rain. It's a bit slow. We'll get there. Probably about 15 minutes later than planned, but well, being cut up by a BMW. How unusual. Maybe we should buy one and fucking go back. So, yeah, this is true. Right, sorry guys, I'm not going to be able to show you the car other than the clip of the back there. So we've got here, the car hasn't been on the road. Last MOT was in 2021. He did show me a video of it running over a year ago in its current place. But underneath there is, so I did a check, cost me a tenner. There's a mileage discrepancy. It's got 228,000 miles on it. It's got advisories for rust underneath. I've had a look, and they're all covered by the plastic covers, so I've got a little bit there, and it's all kind of crumbling out my hand. Underneath the boot there's a little bit coming through. It looks like a patch has been repaired. All the lines underneath are wrecked. Most importantly, car doesn't start. Didn't have enough power. It had up for 2.5 grand, which is cheap, to be fair. I mean, it's sitting quite low, but the tyres are flat and all the tyres are wrecked. The ball joints underneath are gone. The anti-roll bars are gone. I'll be putting coilovers and wheels on it anyway, so they wouldn't worry me too much. But with that much corrosion, even on the discs, on the diff, everything is like covered in rust. Had 10 owners, and it's like, well, if I'm going to spend 500 quid on tyres, I've got to spend 400-500 quid doing bushes, anti-roll bar, front and back suspension. That's another 500 quid easily. So there's a couple of grand. It needs a new interior because that's really wrecked, so that's about £1,000. So that's 3. That's before I've even got to the engine that starts. Plus he wants 3 grand for the car. He was advertised 2.5, but was bid, so I wanted 3 grand. So that would bring me up to 6. If I then have to do, you know, some work on the engine, I don't know, could be 1,000 quid. Let's say 7. For 7 grand for a 228,000 mile 540. I mean, even the door at the edges, they were like rusting through. Driver's side, obviously not the outside. It was sitting low, and it's a lovely car. I love them. Just, yeah, 3 grand no. Offered him 2 grand. He said, you know, it wasn't even close. He said, look, you know, it's not a 10 grand car. I was like, yeah, but it will be once I've done everything to it, and it will still have 228,000 miles on it. So there's another one online that's like 9 grand, absolutely beautiful, all been redone, turbocharger on it, 100,000 miles, got alloy wheels, got beautiful leather interior. And it's like, save myself 2 grand, do all that work. No. So we've got a 2.5 hour drive. It's now 9:30, 10:30, 11:30. We're back at midnight from looking at this one. Still haven't had a message from the guy 5 hours up the country for his one. His was a couple of grand. It had an MOT on it, but it's a 2.5 turbo diesel, which has got 113 horsepower. So it's just not gonna tingle my wangle. Yeah, so disappointing. Tends to be, it's 10 grand for a nice one, or 3-4 grand for a crap one, and then by the time you've done it to make it how you want, it's 10 grand anyway. So these E34s are rust buckets. Looking at the previous MOTs and stuff, it was rear subframe rust and everything, so wasn't meant to be. So might be 5.5 hours tomorrow out the country to see another one. Not sure I want that one. It's a colour I want, but you know, if I can find one that's the wrong colour, it's only a couple of grand for a respray. So that's going to be better than an engine rebuild. Ah, adventures, eh?